Welcome to the 5D Academy of Higher Consciousness. I'm your host, Zarathustra, broadcasting live from Tulum, Mexico. So it was brought up to my attention by one of my participants from the 5D Academy to talk about the spiritual heart and how important it is. And she made sure I repeat this part, that we stay in love and we continue our connection with the divine self. So, and we're going to dive into this and talk about it because this is the essence of everything. It's not only one area of our lives, but the spiritual heart is the key to liberation and freedom. There's never been a single awakened, okay? Let's be aware of that. A single liberated being, someone who has arrived at enlightenment and full liberation from this web of suffering, from this cycle of life and death and fear and worry and anxiety, separation, loneliness, envy, and fear of getting old, fear of losing, um, jealousy on other people, and struggle for power. So there's nobody on this planet has ever been able to awaken to themselves, to the love of God, to the presence of their own being by not opening up their hearts and not going through the spiritual awakening without heart awakening. Heart is the key to liberation. Heart is the key to melting into the oneness and coming back to the very essence of the truth of who we are. And who are we? Where is our origin? What are we doing on this planet? And what's the point? Why are we being born? To do what? I mean, the majority of people on this planet never ask that question. There's never any kind of examination or questioning as to why are we here, what's the point of living, and where are we going to go from here, what's the story. And majority of people on the planet, they're robots. They look like they're alive, but all they do is, what do? They reproduce, populate the planet, and all they do is create toxic waste. And there's no productivity as far as awareness and consciousness of the recognition of the truth of who we are, which the truth of who we are is the spiritual heart. It's the love. And when we speak about the love, we're not talking about um, romantic love, human love. Romantic love, human love is conditional, and it's a business. What have you done for me, and what I do for you, and there's like a bartering, and that is a conditional love. That's not true love. True love has no conditions. It's got no boundaries, and it's not colored. It's it's colorblind, and it doesn't see limitation. It's always here. And once you become aware of it and tap into true love, you melt into it. and there's no way out. Once it grabs you, you're done. There's no way to go back. You can never go back into the mind. So, in this path of awakening, and it doesn't matter what kind of background you come from, um, you come from a broken family, you've been abandoned, you've been beaten up, abused, misused by your parents, you've been raped, you've been uh, whatever has happened to you. At the end of the day, once you discover this place within yourself and begin to merge in and operate from this space, then everything in your life changes. Everything starts to transform because you have discovered the space within yourself. And in this space, discovering of the place, there is no conversation in your mind. There is no processing uh, of, I need to work on my inner child. I need to work on my wounds. I need to um, postpone awakening to another day. Once you discover this place, it's complete, it's whole, and it's not subject to any kind of debates. It's just is, and there is no ifs or buts. Most of us on this spiritual journey, through whatever teachings we have received throughout our lives, believe that we need to work on a lot of personal issues. And we keep working on our personal issues. But, this keeps going on and on and on and on. But working on personal issues is wonderful. It's great to do that. It's great to self-reflect. It's great to become aware of our unconscious behaviors and patterns and reactions. Okay? It's a great thing to do. However, it keeps going on and on and on and on. It's just never ends. You never get to the end of it because you work on one part and then there's another part and then there's another part. And then once you're done with all the parts, the first part is going to come back and sneak in on you. Because a lot of that work is either on the mind, it's mindy, or when it gets to the heart, it's not permanent. It's not completely dissolving into the oneness of the self. Because by shifting from the world of the head to the heart, by diving into your heart, there is no longer a past that haunts you. Working on childhood traumas, working on your stories, that you are no longer here, you go somewhere else. And in here, in the heart, there is no stories. All stories disappear. Because all the childhood stories, they're the past. And again, as I mentioned, it's good to become aware of them and notice them and take notes and review them, especially when you're having some unconscious pattern that you keep repeating. But you cannot stay there. You have to move on. And you have to come to this place of no stories. Here. in the center of your own self, where your divinity resides, where you meet your own self. When you realize that you are complete the way you are, okay? You're complete the way you are. Even if you think you're screwed up, you are complete. Now, I'm not saying this that somebody from the point of ego comes and says, oh, Zarathustra said that I am complete, so I can really be an asshole or unconscious, and I'm I pull in Burger King and I'm eating my hamburger, and then I open the car door and I throw all my trash on the floor, on the ground, and I drive away. And Zarathustra said, I am complete, so I can be unconscious. I'm not referring to that. Okay, I'm not giving you license to be an asshole or to destroy things around you based on my words. What I'm saying is the truth of who we are. When we dive in here and we begin to feel the presence of God, you can try it right now. Shift your energy. Come to this part of yourself where there is no thoughts and you're centered. And almost immediately, you begin to feel the, the presence, your being, which is always here, which is always surrounding you. It's holding you, it's touching you, it's loving you, it's dancing around you, it's playing with you, it's kissing you, and it's breathing through you, your being. The Atman, the presence, is here. And most people keep running around looking for it somewhere else. In the past, we thought it's in the church, or it's in the mosque, or it's in a temple. And we have to go to the church or the mosque or the temple to feel the presence of God. And it's okay. Some people need to do that. But there's a time that you're going to grow out of that, and you realize that the temple that God lives in is here. It's within yourself. It's always been here. It's always here. And it always will be here, because this is where it is, not anywhere else. Anywhere else is a way of postponing things. I need to keep working on myself. I need to work on my inner child. That's an excuse to postpone awakening to another time. I'm not ready, Zarathustra, to awaken. I have to work on myself. That's postponing things to another time. And we all have done that. Postponing awakening to another day, to another time, to another place. And as results, we keep suffering. Suffering is happening right now. Suffering doesn't say, okay, let's postpone me to another day. Suffering is happening to you right now. Fear, anxiety, worried about what's going to happen in the world, what's going to happen to me. Am I going to be broke? Am I going to be lonely? Am I going to be heartbroken? What's going to happen to me? And this is all postponement to another time, to another place. So I would like you to take a moment and reflect that how long has it been that you've been postponing this? And if you pay attention, you will see most of your adult life that you have come on this path of awakening, of self-realization, you keep postponing things to another day or another time. And you always have a very good excuse for it. Your excuses are very valid. So when are you ready to meet yourself? Because you don't need to go to India, you don't need to go to a Tibetan temple, you don't have to go to the church down the street, you don't have to go to Egypt or Turkey or go to Rumi's tomb. All you have to do is be quiet and shift from analytical thinking to the heart. And just look at yourself, look at the one that is here, your true soulmate. And in that moment, just feel the love. You feel the presence of the being. Outside of the blah, blah, blah in your mind, the presence is here. Because every time you go to deep meditation and you're encountering yourself, there's no way out. It's unescapable. Every time you're alone by yourself, you're gonna have to feel the presence. Every time there's an act of kindness, you have to feel the presence. Even though you may be an asshole to your children, to your family, to yourself, to other people, but that moment that some kindness comes out of you or someone offers it to you, you're forced to experience the presence, even though if you don't think you're worthy. Most of us go through a life of suffering thinking we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we're not worthy of love of God, we're not worthy to be loved by other people because I'm not rich enough, I'm not cool enough, I'm not good looking enough, I need to lose some more weight, I need to get my nose job done, I need to get rich, I have to buy a better car. There's always a reason to postpone love to another time or date, or it's never here. And that which we're really looking for, that's which all human beings on this planet are seeking for, they're looking for, is the presence. It's the love. It's happiness. It's being content. Take a look. Look at yourself. Look at your life and see what is it you're looking for. And how you're projecting what you're looking for on a man, on a woman. Oh, I really need to have a soulmate. I need to have a partner. I have to have the one living with me to be happy. So how many people do that? How many times you've done it? How many times I've done it? that I have to have a partner to be happy. I have to have my soulmate. I have to have the girl, the woman, the man. Otherwise, my life is not complete. So we're postponing what is here and the riches, the wealth which we have on an object. Because a partner is what is a partner? It's an object. It's an object of desire because you like the way they look or they make you feel or the way they are. And you feel like they will complete you. And so finally maybe you get to them. But then what happens? Eventually you're going to lose them. Eventually you grow out of it. They grow out of you. Eventually one day they're attracted to somebody else and you're getting older and you start getting very insecure, and the more you get insecure, the more you become tight and contracted, and the more you're pushing your partner away, and eventually your partner will leave you. It's an object. Why don't we cut the bullshit off and dive back into our heart here and discover it here once and forever? Once and forever, and you're done. You have discovered who you are. You have discovered the true love, and it's here. And now you're not postponing this to another time. You're not coming with excuses that I need to work on myself. I need to take another course. I need to read another book. I need to go to another country, to another teacher, another guru. I need to do another ayahuasca journey. I need to blah, 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 blah. You cut all these things off and you feel yourself and the presence of the self. As scary as it is, as uncomfortable as it is, as powerful as it is, and then you discover the truth of who you are. And then the quality of your life changes. Because you no longer, it doesn't mean life is going to be easier. It doesn't mean tomorrow you're going to find the man of your life or the woman of your life. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to receive $10 million. It doesn't mean that your body is going to be healed tomorrow. It could happen, it could not. But what matters the most is you have discovered the presence, and you're no longer wasting your time and postponing your marriage and your unity and the wholeness with your soulmate. You have discovered your true soulmate. And that's wealth. And at that point, you're no longer a beggar. You're not begging anymore. Aren't you tired of being a beggar? How long do you want to beg? How many more times? How many more days? How many more years? You're begging. Oh, believe me, we're all in the eyes of Her Majesty, the Supreme. We're all beggars. We're all walking around with our begging bowl, always begging, always asking God, oh my God, give me this. Oh my God, I wish this would happen, that would happen, blah, 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 blah. Heal my body, heal my son, give me more money, give me more love, give me more sex, give me more power, give me more time. We're always asking for something because we feel we're incomplete and it's somewhere else where it's always been here. And it does require somebody to stop the madness and stop and just come back here. Having the courage of sitting with themselves and diving into the heart of awareness, as scary, as uncomfortable as it may appear to be in the beginning. Without a story, you put your life story aside. You can't carry this garbage bag that of your story. That story needs to stay where it is. And you come back to yourself. And then the true love comes. You begin to feel the love of the Allah, the love of God, which is your power. And you become radiant and you become beautiful. Regardless of what your shape is, people want to be around you. They want to touch you. They want to hear you. They want to be at your presence because you're radiating self-love. You have discovered that within yourself, you're complete. And everybody wants a piece of you. You have discovered the fountain of love, which is always activated from within yourself. It's always happening. It's always here. It's always. And every day you become more beautiful. And the more we dive into this place, the more powerful we become. Not powerful in the worldly sense. That's not what I'm referring to. Powerful in the spiritual world. In a way that you have transcended fear, worry, anxiety, separation, loneliness, and you have discovered something new, something different, something permanent here. And what happens is now, A, you have compassion for the world. B, you're not involved with the world. No matter what happens in the world, nothing can touch this place because this place is beyond the objects. The world is objects. These objects come and go. The kingdoms, the corporations, the land, the mountains, the weather, the wealth, the youth, all of these things, the power of men, women, they're all temporarily. None of them is permanent. all of them at the end bring suffering. Because I don't care how powerful you are, you became the president of whatever country, you became the president of such corporation. One day your job is finished and you have to leave, and you no longer have that power. You're a very, very famous actor, actress. Eventually you're going to be old and you're going to be outdated, and you're not on the top anymore. And you're going to start to suffer because you're really trying hard to be famous or wanted or popular, and people don't want you anymore. The new generations, they don't care about you. So you suffer. Whatever that is, whatever is your story, it's going to come with suffering because you're trying to build this castle on the sand, and eventually a wave is going to come and take it away. But once we start diving deep within the self and discover the wealth which is here, you will realize it's permanent. It's always here, and it's unconditional, and it's not going to go anywhere. You can't lose it. And you have tapped into your own wealth. And you also realize that everything you need is here. So you're not begging anymore from other people. And then the quality of our lives changes. You're still in the world, but you're no longer of the world. Yes, your body, mind, everything is in this world. You still have to go to work. You still have financial problems. Your body may get sick. Your close friend may die. Those things remain the same. Or maybe things go really your way and get much better, and it doesn't matter. You have discovered the truth, which is here. And you know you're complete. And you know there is no death. And you know there is no loneliness. And we have an opportunity as a human being in this life to get to this place. So why not? Why postpone? Why don't we go for it now? No matter how long it takes, a day, a week, a month, 10 years, 20 years, why not invest into what is permanent and be ignorant to what's temporarily? Why don't we go for it? What do you have to lose? But one day you're going to fall and die. So you might as well give it a try to be liberated. And I know you all have been in this place. You've touched this place because this place is the truth of who you are. This place doesn't come and go. This place is here, and we all have tapped into it. But somehow our mind pulls us out. The mind says it's there. The mind says it's another time. The mind says, oh, I'm not ready. I need to work on myself more. I'm not worthy. And that's the mind tells you these things. So you need to become ignorant to your mind and not buy into the mind. Just fall into the heart. Anybody has any questions for me? You have to unmute yourself. And while you're doing this, uno momento, I gotta just my air conditioner. Get the air out.
I have a question.
Please.
I make the experience that many people have such a deep closed heart that they don't know what they can do to open it. So maybe is it good to make special kind of meditations, and which kind of meditations could this be, for example?
Okay, this is a good question.
So very disconnected that they need really help.
Right. First of all, let me clear something, because of course we're using words, so this is language, and we're talking about things with language. And when we're using language, then all of a sudden the heart becomes a thing, as if it's an object. And what we're referring to is not an object. It's not like something I need to go and start turning the switch on. It's number one, we need to realize that the presence is always here. It's not a thing. Okay? Does it make sense, Susanna, so far? So it's not an object that we're trying to reach and to do a specific meditation to get to a state. So, and I'm going to explain this to you again, because getting to a state means I get really high and I get in a state that I'm feeling really high. But what I'm referring to, all states come and go. They're not going to stay there. That's the nature of the states. Means a level of happiness or high. And then we lose it, because, you know, let's say I'm going to go run for an hour and get a very good run and get really high and feel really good. But then 2 hours, 3 hours after that, I go back to my miserable self. Or I'll have a nice glass of wine and it really relaxes me because I had a very long day and I stressed out. So I'm drinking some wine and I'm mellowing down. So it's changing my state. But this place is always here. And it's not a state. It's the very fabric of who we are. The spiritual heart, the presence, the love. And if it's going to come and go, then it's not real. So we need to recognize of something which is always here. The recognition, first of all, maybe intellectually, we realize that this love, it's always here. And when we're not engaged in conversations, with other people or engage in conversations with ourselves. So we're not in our head thinking. In the absence of the thinking mind, there's only the presence, which is the heart. Now back to so that's important to know. Now back into what you brought up, which is a very good question, is okay, so what do we do for this? So again, first we have to understand it's not an object. It's not a thing that we're going to get to it. It's something which is always here. So it's the recognition of the truth of who we are. How do I recognize that? Because I don't have to do anything to gain it. It's not something I can go get. So that's a trap. We try to do different meditations to get to the heart, but we're not getting to the heart. We're getting to a high state of really being high. And then we lose it because it goes away. We have to first realize this is not something that comes and goes. This is something which is always here. Okay, then what do we need to do is we need to get out of the mind. And when you get out of the mind, the heart is already there. You're not getting to the heart. It's already there. You're just not involved with your mind. And then you feel the presence. It's in the absence of thinking mind. It's like there's a lot of clouds in the sky, so you don't see the blue sky. But the blue sky doesn't come and go. It's always here. So if it's at nighttime, you don't see the blue sky because it's night. And if it's daytime and there's a lot of clouds, but the moment the clouds go away, the blue sky is always there. So it's not something you have to create or get to because it's already here. It's just you recognize it. Otherwise, we all have done all these different meditations, all these different work of heart awakening, this, that, da, 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 and you get to this place, which is great. It gives you a glimpse of what's there. Not that it doesn't work. All the workshops we've done, all the work we do, different various kind of meditations we do to become calm and fall into this place of self-love, but then it disappears. And we are associating this feeling with an object. Because, okay, Zarathustra, I came to your workshop, and when I was at your workshop, and maybe 4 or 5 days after your workshop, I was feeling really amazing, but then it went away. Oh, Zarathustra, I went to India to my guru and my guru's ashram, and when I'm there with my guru, I'm very happy. When I leave my guru and I come back to Sweden, Germany, Norway, I lose it. And I've experienced that too. That's conditional. Because we're objectifying it. And we don't understand the space, that place we're looking for, it's already built in. We don't have to do anything for it. It's just a recognition of a space which is always here, because it's not a state. It's not like a level of getting high or being depressed. It's beyond that. This love is the reason you were born. This love is the reason you're alive right now. This love has brought you and I here on this platform. This love is what feeds you. It puts bread on your table. It pays your rent. It puts gas in your car. It helps you buy medicine. It's because this love is always here. And we're swimming in it. But we get caught in the stories of the mind of our past. So we forget, we get hypnotized about the truth of who we are. this love, this presence, this peace that you experience, it's always here. It's always surrounding you. For this peace, you don't have to do anything. There's no action needed because this is your true nature. This is who you are. All is required is to be quiet. And what kind of action you need to do to be quiet? What kind of action is necessary to not think? Simply be quiet. And then it reveals itself. But what do? We go into the story, our story, the world's story, that I need to work on myself more. To get there. Now we're creating time space that where we want to get is in another time and it's another place. So we're making it an object and automatically we're creating time and space. So we're already coming out of here to get to it. Well, where is it? It's there. It means it's not right now. It's not here. I need to work on myself means I am postponing awakening to another time. But for this, you don't have to do anything. It's already here. You just wake up to it. It's really as simple as it is. But we're accustomed to a lifetime of postponements, always postponing it to another time, to another date, to another place. Because there's also this addiction to suffering that we like to suffer somehow. So we've come to the end of our academy. I'm really grateful for all of you joining me. It's definitely been a very enlightening 1 hour, and I look forward to seeing you again. A few announcements that I have to make is that my European tour is happening. I will be heading to Poland in middle of May and then to Norway. We're having a total of 6 events, both in Warsaw and in Hamar, Norway. Um, Feel free to, one moment, I just have a message. We have to remind that. uh, So, answering PK, uh, yeah, I mean, in a way, all you have to do is remind yourself and remember who you are and just stop thinking, and immediately the self will reveal itself to itself. So, its requirement is to be quiet and not think. And then you see the great majestic being that you are. So back into my programs, I will be going to Europe in the middle of May, and 6 events in 2 countries, and everything is on my website, or it will be on my website. We're in the process of putting it on. My website is zarathustra.tv. If you have any questions, you can either contact us directly, info@zarathustra.tv, or contact our event organizers in Warsaw or in Hamar, Norway. My social media pages are Zarathustra 5D. So feel free to reach out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, take a moment and subscribe and join my channel. Thank you for being with me, sending you lots of love and light. And our next academy will be next Thursday at the same time. Looking forward to seeing you again. Namaste. God bless you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Nice having you, my dear sister. Okay.